World, Wayne's World. No, it's not Wayne's World. It's the Bulldog Sports Show with my buddy Nick Batista, yours truly, the Bulldog, wearing my Kentucky sweatshirt in support of Will Levis, who went to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans. All right, let's start with this, because I think we're going to share this, but I want you to go on your tirade however you want. Let's talk about the NFL draft show.
Oh, first off, yeah, it's like the Kardashians meet the Oscars. I think I told Josh that. I mean, who you wearing, Bryce? Oh, it's Versace. Could you imagine, like, Dick Butkus back in the day? Who you wearing, Dick? Sears. I don't know. Kmart. I mean, it was just it was disgusting.
It has gotten crazy. You know what I hate is the backstory. They overdo the backstories,
Right.
the drama. It's all about money. They must sell really well this show, because they talk about it for weeks in advance, but the day before, it's like 4 or 5 hours leading up to the draft.
4 or 5.
It says
at noon.
It says 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. I mean, you know, it's.
Who did your hair?
You know, it's so bad. I'm an example of somebody. I stopped watching the draft. I didn't watch the draft this year, and the reason why I didn't watch the draft is because of all that. I'm somebody who's decided, you know what? I'll check it out at the end of the day to see who my team's picked and go from there. You know?
Yeah. Well, I watched it for the show, and I didn't know who my Browns were going to pick. So, but yeah, it was hard.
Well, let's talk about the first round a little bit. First off, Bryce Young went first. You owe me a hot fudge sundae.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, you just do. It's the bottom line.
But Stroud won second, surprisingly.
Now, before we talk about the Cleveland Browns draft picks, let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals draft picks. Their first pick was a hell of a defensive end from Clemson. Good player. He's worth picking. But I tell you what I thought was interesting is the running back that they picked from Illinois. He is a damn good running back.
Oh, right.
Now, it's just interesting. Coach has already declared Mixon the starter. You know, Mixon is the starter. He's declared it already.
They're not going to sign him, are they? Mixon?
No, he's already under contract.
He is.
But the bottom line is, I mean, I think that Illinois running back was an interesting pick. But I thought the Bengals had a good draft. What about you with your Brownies?
We took a good receiver, third round, Cedric Thompson, I think, the receiver from Tennessee.
Yep.
Had a great year last year. And we went line, O-line, D-line, and we took another quarterback in the 5th round. Kid from UCLA.
You know the Bengals, another pick that the Bengals took, which I love, is Jordan Battle, the Alabama safety. I mean, Jordan Battle is a player. And, of course, the Bengals lost both of their safeties.
Right.
So
2 great players.
But Jordan Battle, 3-year starter at Alabama.
Wow.
And you know, so
that's a good pick.
By the way, speaking along these lines, you had some teams. It's like, okay, my Dallas Cowboys. My Dallas Cowboys picked a great defensive run stopper right out of the gate of Michigan, a great tight end out of Michigan, a great linebacker from Texas. But they picked 2 Michigan players. And I love how some of these pro teams pick from the elite schools. The Philadelphia Eagles picked, I think, 3 Georgia Bulldogs.
Right.
And you know what? I've always just felt this way, and I think you agree with me. If I'm picking, like, you go, well, we're going to pick this player from Troy State. And don't get me wrong, every once in a while, you could have this great player, you know, you find Jerry Rice from Appalachian State.
Right.
But the odds are, how do you not pick team? I mean, if I was an NFL general manager, I would be so focused on Georgia, Bama, SEC, Big Ten.
Sure.
Give me those big offensive linemen out of Big Ten. Mm-hmm. You know, Ohio State, Michigan.
The Browns picked 2 guys from Ohio State, and I agree with you. And I'm sure the GMs and scouts for the NFL know what the college guys are scouting. I mean, these guys are all in a fraternity. They know before the draft. They know. Yeah, you're right. The 5-star recruits go to these certain schools.
And if you're playing against the best and beating the best in college, you're only okay. You're 1 year removed from that when you go to the pros.
Right.
So it isn't like that. That chances are that player's not going to collapse.
And they're playing against the same players in a couple of years.
I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like Boise State. You know, we had Dallas Cowboys Van Der Esch, great player from Boise State.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it's like, you know, that linebacker from Penn State's going to be really good, Micah Parsons. I mean,
right.
So I just think it's crazy. So let's talk about some locals that were picked, which is pretty cool. Michael Mayer went to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I tell you right now, what a beast of a tight end.
Yeah.
The Bengals had a chance
I know.
to pick
I thought
him.
for sure they.
Oh my God, the
See,
Bengals.
that's the old Bengals. Mike Brown would have because he was a local tie-in. He would have.
I would have picked him. By the way, he wanted.
What I saw.
He wanted to play with the Bengals too.
Yeah, I'll bet he did.
I mean, hometown boy. But I mean, they could have picked him, but instead he goes to Las Vegas. And I was thinking to myself, this kid, you know, he's a superstar Cub calf. He goes to Notre Dame. He's now been drafted. He's going to be a pro. Going to have a great rookie contract. Going to have a great career. And he gets to go to Vegas. I mean, it's better than going to Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about a place to go, I mean, and his head's screwed on, right? So it won't be a problem. But, you know, can you imagine you're sending your little boy off to the pros and you're going to Vegas?
Why not? Yeah. I mean, they got an embarrassment of riches, man. Vegas got a lot of good receivers.
I mean, but who else locally got picked? I'm trying to think of some of the other. Well, Will Levis, we already talked about him. He went to Tennessee Titans. I think a couple how many Bearcats got picked? I think there was two or
two.
Two Bearcats got picked. But I don't know, the draft. I like seeing who they pick after the fact. Oh, how about this? The Texans, we got to talk about this first round pick. The Texans take your guy from Ohio State, Shroud, and then trade and get Willie Anderson from Bama, the linebacker.
It was a great
what a great draft.
I heard national media yesterday morning saying, "Oh, that was a terrible."
No, it wasn't.
What are you talking about?
Willie Anderson's a Micah Parsons,
right?
I mean, and let's face it, Shroud's going to be a good quarterback.
He will be.
So I thought to myself, I'm a Texans fan. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Maybe they can get it off the doormat. All right, NBA playoffs. I don't know if you know this because I've been watching the playoffs. Steph Curry just dropped 50 on Sacramento, Game 7 in Sacramento. Like, holy cow.
Yep, here we are at the end of the year. We're back.
I'm sorry your Cavs got eliminated. The Heat just beat them, the Knicks, in Game 1. And how about those Lakers?
Yeah, Lakers and Golden State. First time since 91.
That's right. It's going to be interesting.
That's going to be a good series.
I can't believe Denver beat Phoenix Game 1, but they did.
Oh, Denver's under.
Who do you think's going to? I tell you what, I'm going to. My brain tells me Golden State and the Heat knocked off Milwaukee. I think Golden State and Heat. I think the Heat's hot.
They are hot.
But I hope it's Lakers Heat.
Well, the media wishes it's Lakers and the Knicks or Lakers and the Celtics.
Right.
You can't count the Celtics out, man.
I know the Celtics. I should speak. My mind tells me the Celtics in the East. My heart tells me the Heat.
Right.
All right, NHL playoffs. You know, this is crazy. I didn't realize Seattle had a inaugural team, and they made the playoffs, but they're out now.
No, there's Game 7 tonight.
Is it Game 7 tonight? I thought they were out.
They're the Kraken.
Well, I take that back. They're playing the Avalanche.
That's right.
And guess what? The Bruins are playing Game 7 right now against Tampa Bay, and they're down 1-0.
Are they?
They're down 1-0. Toronto won. NHL playoffs are fun, man.
I mean, they are. Game 7s especially.
Hockey. You see that? It was on Sports Center the other night. This guy scored a goal between his legs. Did you see that?
I did see that, yeah.
My God, I was like, what the heck?
Rangers, Devils, I think it was.
All right, let's talk about Major League Baseball. The Reds swept the Rangers. Woo!
Yeah, almost swept the A's. I just got beat.
They lose to the A's.
One game.
The worst
out of 3.
The worst team. The worst team in Major League Baseball. They go out there and lose.
Right. And the Rangers sweep the Yankees.
Yeah. Crazy. Now, let's talk about your Indians. How they doing? They're not doing good?
We're 2 games out of first place, but
I will always call them the Indians.
I will too.
Pull it right, Josh. They'll always be the Indians.
2/5.
It's like Washington will always be the damn Redskins.
That's right.
We don't have to be politically correct on there.
We got pitching injuries.
San Diego Chargers.
Yes. For sure.
I can't call them the L.A. Chargers. That's the San Diego Chargers. All right, how about this? After watching Air last week, which I reported on, great movie, go watch it. Durant signed a Nike lifetime contract. A lifetime contract.
Well,
I mean, what?
He's only the third player in history, right?
Right.
Michael Jordan, was it Kobe?
Kobe.
And Durant. I think it's too late. I mean, it's
Like it's too late in his career.
right. I mean, my God, he was great 5 years ago.
But I'm just telling you, I mean, when's somebody going to sign us to a shoe contract? When are we going to get our shoe contract? Hey, we'll take Adidas, Converse, Nike. We don't give a dang, man. Nick and I are ready to sign. We'll sign it together. You can lock us up for life. I mean, come on, man. Lamar Jackson. I like what our producer put down here. He just put Lamar Jackson is rich as hell.
Yes.
So after a bunch of grandstanding and everything else, what did he get?
$185 million with
5 years. How much is it guaranteed?
it's $52 million a year.
$260.
Yeah, and 185 is guaranteed. That's what it was.
my
But he wanted 230 like Deshaun Watson, and they held out.
You know, Nick,
Nobody's getting that.
let's get let's get philosophical here. You know, I know I was born in a decent time and place and in a family, and I was blessed with some brains. But how come I didn't have the gifts of an NFL quarterback?
Yeah, I know.
$50 million a year.
That's because there's only 10 people in the world that can do it, you know?
I know that's
That well.
It's supply and demand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's supply and
People
demand.
bitch about no ball player's worth that much. Well, you can't do it. There's 6 billion people.
Exactly.
10 guys can do it that way.
You're right. That's why they get paid that. It also just think what these NFL teams are making to be able to pay them.
I mean, the franchise value ship. What the Bengals worth? $3-4 billion now?
No, I thought it was. I don't think that. I think they're at $2 billion.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
What
they've
about the
reached $3 billion.
Cowboys? What are they?
Oh, the Cowboys are the most valuable.
billion?
They're like $6 billion or something.
Well, the Redskins.
Well, they're going to sell for $6 billion.
I mean, just a few years ago, $1 billion was like unheard of.
And you know what? The people buying the Redskins, they don't even have a stadium. Their stadium sucks.
Well, they got a land contract, I believe.
Yeah. All right, and let's not even talk about FC Cincinnati.
They tied it.
They tied to the Revolution in New England. They tied again. They tie a lot.
So the first time ever, I looked in the box scores to see the standings. I go to the standings, and they don't even call it the standings in soccer. They call it the drawing. Okay? Like, what's
Soccer's
the drawing?
woke.
It goes wins, ties. Do they call it ties?
Draws.
Wins, draws, losses. Well, they have more draws than they have wins or losses.
They're a draw team.
3, 6, and 1.
They did that last year. I think they drawed nearly every game last year.
The team in the West is 1-9-1. 9 draws. And they're in first place.
You know,
Soccer.
When you got that many ties, you got to change things. Don't you think?
Yes.
All right, anything else you got to do in sports? Tragedy, I hate to end on a tragic note. Tampa Bay linebacker Barnett, his 2-year-old, drowned in a swimming pool.
Yeah, prayers to him.
Yeah, sad. Got anything else you want to share in sports? Like anything going on in National Wiffle Ball?
I think that is midsummer.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, well, thank you for tuning in to Bulldog Sports with me and Nick. As always, our producer Josh came in and did the show for us. We will see you next week.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That was a bad throw, Nick.
It was. Hit the boom.